Having a roof on one's head is the desire of every man. Hello smart investors, welcome to Real Estate Made Easy, your number one YouTube channel where we educate you, we inform you, we empower you about real estate investment by giving you pro tips, guides, advice and warnings so that you can make the right real estate investment decision and you can avoid the costly mistakes every other person is making. Today we'll be discussing an important topic. We have a number of questions that are for answers. So today we'll be answering some of those questions. So the question is this: can I build my own house in Lagos without having a building approval? So that question is begging for an answer. So on this episode today, we'll be answering that question. So make sure you stay tuned, relax and enjoy. Thank you. First and foremost, what is a building approval? A building approval is like a license that empowers you to go ahead with your building construction. This is what gives you the freedom. Just like imagine somebody who goes to school at the end of your 4-year or 5 years or 6-year course, you're expected to come out and then you graduate from that institution and a certificate will be given to you. Now when it comes to real estate as well, if you want to build, particularly in Lagos, you need to have a building approval. So what are the process now that you need to actually do? First and foremost, you need to make payment for it. It is not given on a free of charge basis. No, people pay for it. So you have to pay for your building approval. Now when you pay for your building approval, you'll be given a receipt. Then after the receipt, then you're expected to also have a final approval given to you. So there are two types of building permits. Number one, we have a professional building permit, and then we have the final building permit. A lot of people you see going to sites without having a building permit, and majority of them are those that eventually end up either their site being locked or even asked to stop work entirely. So you do not want to be in that shoe. So what are the processes you need to do? You must also know that getting a building approval at times takes a longer time, but that we will be teaching you how you can actually shorten that duration of time that normally is supposed to take you. So but you must know first and foremost that you need to have a building approval if you are to go ahead with. Like I said, there are two types of building permits. We have the professional permit and you have the final permit. What is the professional permit? Professional permit is what gives you the ability to go to site, mobilize your site, and then start doing one thing or the other on your site while you are waiting the final approval. Don't forget that number one thing you must do is to actually pay for the building permit. Now that you have paid, you'll be given a receipt. That's an evidence that your documents are already with the government and government is processing your final document to come out. So while you are waiting for that, you can still mobilize your resources and everything to site. But do not make the mistake of going to site without having a professional permit or without even you making payment and then having a professional permit, because that is one of the things many people actually do. Now that is gotten, professional permit actually it is not permanent. That's why it is professional. You are meant to collect the final permit. Professional permit lasts for a very short period of time, and while the final permit is what enables you to be able to continue with your building till completion. So now the duration for a professional permit is about 18 months. So like I said, you must actually obtain the final permit. The final permit, to be truthful, it takes a longer time to come out, but it is something that is worthwhile you have to get. But however, the pro tip is that you can actually fast track it. That is by paying extra for it. That's about 500% fee. So instead of you paying 1 million naira times, if you really want to fast track it, that will can come within days instead of this taking couples of months for you to have your final building permit. Within the duration of 10 days or thereabout, you can get a final one if you pay about 500% extra charge. That is about, instead of 1 million naira, you are paying 5 million naira as an example. Do you understand? So but you can get that. So you must know that you can get a professional permit to enable you to go to site and start your work, but the final permit is very, very important that you must have. Now what are the disadvantages of not having a building permit while you are going to site? Number one is that you may end up losing that property. Two, you will be harassed and may even be embarrassed because this your site might be locked up and all the materials you have mobilized to site might end up either stolen or even wasted, because until government open up your site before you can go back to that site. So that's another disadvantage of actually going to a site without your building permit, is that your construction site can also be sealed up. And it's a dangerous thing for you to actually mobilize to site, paying for construction and everything when you have not obtained your building permit. So your construction site, one of the things that can happen to your project if you go to site without having your either even the least being the professional building permit, is that this building agency will come and demolish your building, so you can actually even lose that entirely, because if whatever you are doing does not meet the standard set by government, you may end up losing that project entirely. So it's a waste of time, waste of resources. Your building could be your project could be sealed up, so you have to waste a number of time. Again, you have to pay penalty, because you'll be penalized for mobilizing to site without having the necessary permit. So is this really worth it? In the presence of high inflation and devaluation of naira, there is wasting resources on a project you do not have approval to build. So these are one of the important reasons why you must know the right thing to do and must do them at the right time. So don't fall into the victims of people who go to site without having a building permit. You must always obtain your building permit before you start your construction project. In summary, make sure that you do not go to site without having your building permit, the least being the professional building permit. Number 2, ensure that you get the final building permit, and most importantly, ensure that all the necessary paperwork you need to do, ensure you do them, because going to work without your tools, in this case now without you having the approval to do your construction work, it might be a waste of time, resources, and hard-earned money. So do not be among those who are making costly mistakes, that are mobilizing to site, building doing the building construction work, in the long run government coming after them to seal up their project or even demolish whatever it is they are erected. These are some of the painful mistakes people actually make, and I believe now you listen to this, you won't make such mistake again. If you learned from this video and you're yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. Till I come your way again, I remind you are working with Red Top, real estate consultant, property advisor, Bello Kamaldeen.